All right, if everyone please rise, invocation will be led by Mr. Lafourche, followed by the pledge led by Mrs. Esposito.
We'll do the Lord's Prayer, please. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, today's meeting is a little different. Section A, Chairman's comments. We're about to appoint new officers for 2018. As chairman, I enjoyed working with all my fellow council members, and I think we passed some nice ordinances and resolutions this past year that helped out the parish. I want to thank everyone for your support, and hopefully continued support for the next chairperson and vice chairperson that we elect tonight. And let's keep on doing good things for Lafourche Parish. Section B, appointment of officers for 2018. Yes, ma'am.
On behalf of the council and the parish, I want to thank you for, we all want to thank you for everything you've done. I know it wasn't always the easiest of times, but we appreciate how you steadfastly guided us through all of this. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hammer time. All right, so moving right along, Section B, appointment of officers for 2018. Number one, nominations to select a chairperson for the Lafourche Parish Council for fiscal year 2018.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir. Mr. Jones, go ahead.
At this time, I would like to nominate a person that's been devoted, been eager, trustworthy, and really do the right thing for this Lafourche Parish. Is none other than the nominee of the Louisiana Women's Commission 2017 inductive Hall of Fame, Ms. Lucy Esposito.
All right, so you nominate Mrs. Esposito as chairperson and second by Mr. Groh. Any discussion? Being none, we'll move it to a vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 7-1. Wait, 8-1. I'm just so used to sevens on this council. Sorry. Yep, the nay is Mr. Lorraine. All right, congratulations, Mrs. Esposito. You are the new chairperson of the Lafourche Parish Council. At this point, before we move any further, I'm going to pass this gavel on to you, and you can run the rest of this meeting. Thank you very much.
Would that make you the first chairwoman?
I think Miss Mary Flowers was vice chair at that time. I believe the parish president was chair of the council. So by default, I guess so. I'm the vice.
All right. Congratulations.
Oh. Before I move on from here, I just want to say, in a time when women are disrespected and devalued, the vast majority of this council have treated me with nothing but respect and have been great supports for me. And I would like to thank you, gentlemen, for tonight and for all of the days leading up to today. I really appreciate all you've done for me. Section B2, nominations to select a vice chair for the Lafourche Parish Council for the fiscal year 2018.
I'd like to nominate someone, please, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
I'd like to nominate Mr. Nooney Otan.
I'd second.
Moved by Councilman Lafourche, second by Councilman Jones. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Votes approved 8-1. Congratulations, Mr. Councilman Otan. And I'll turn this over to you. Oh, hand him his sign too. We're not going to move. Not going to move chairs tonight. Mr. Vice Chair Otan, would you like to say anything?
I just want to thank the 8 members of the council that supported me, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you. Thank you.
Mr. Lafont, did you have anything else?
Oh, no. I'm just thinking I'm gonna be between Daniel and James now. Y'all gonna have,
Section C, approval of the minutes. Number 3, motion to accept the minutes of November 27, 2017 special session. It's deferred from 12/12/17. Moved by Councilman Grow, second by Councilman Jones. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Passes 9-0. Number 4, motion to accept the minutes of the November 28, 2017 regular session, deferred from December 12, 2017. Moved by Councilman Jones, second by Councilman Perilou. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Passes 9-0. Number 5, motion to accept the minutes of December 5th, 2017 special session. Moved by Councilman, Councilman Melvin?
I just have an amendment I'm waiting for.
Sure. Okay.
Yes, I have an amendment for something that was left out. I amended the December 5th, 2017 special meeting minutes to include Exhibit A. It was accidentally left out of the packet, so. Right, so, that's right.
Okay, so we have a motion to accept for the amendment, Councilman Melvin, second by Councilman Otan. So we're voting on the amendment right now. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 9-0. Now to accept the minutes as amended. Need a motion from Councilman Melvin, second by Councilman Perilou. All in favor? Any opposed? Passes 9-0.
Make a
motion.
motion.
Go ahead, Councilman Perilou.
I'd like to make a motion to defer items 6 and 7 till the next meeting. What's the date? January 23rd.
Okay, motion to accept items 6 and 7 until January 23rd, 2018. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Passes 9-0. D, presentations and/or updates. Number 8, presentation by David Cormedale, Mayor of the Town of Grand Isle, regarding a rock project.
I'd just like to defer it to the next meeting. David can't make it. He'll make it on January the 23rd, and I'd like to he needs to address the council along with O'Neill Marlboro, Grand Isle Shipyard Engineer.
Okay, so we have that presentation deferred to January 23rd. 9, Mr. Timothy Bush, President and CEO of Louisiana Cajun Bayou Tourism, to update the Lafourche Parish Council on parish tourism for 2017 and to provide insight on expectations for 2018. State your name and address for the record, please. Can you turn it on? White button.
You on? Good, okay. Timothy Bush, 216 West 8th Street, Thibodaux, Louisiana, apartment 11. Well, it's not going to cooperate.
Is that
Okay.
tight?
Thank you for the opportunity to address the council and talk about tourism in the parish. We had a great year in 2017 and just wanted to share the results of that with you guys. If you look in your packet, you should have received a copy of our 2018 tourism marketing plan. If you return to page 3, I won't read it for you, but I wanted to at least touch on a couple of highlights that I think were significant for the year. It is our 2017 year-end recap. So we had over 230,000 visitors to our website this year. That is a 240% increase over previous years. So before last year, we had about 65,000 visitors annually. So I think that's quite significant. We generated $575,000 in earned media, by hosting 8 travel writers who then went on to publish 25 articles in national and regional publications about our community and our destination. I think that is also very, very significant. We have never garnered that type of media attention before, and so I think that's a positive result for us. We also saw a significant increase in visitor information requests. We had 1,500 visitor information requests. That is people who come to our website, they request information, either through downloading a copy of our visitor's guide or by just requesting one be mailed to them. So again, I think that's significant. So it definitely shows with those three things how the numbers have increased on the website as a result of those things. Little research data for you. One of our previous campaigns we did was with Expedia. What we found out is that people coming to the destination typically spend one night. And also the booking window from the time that they actually get online, book their room, and actually are in the destination is actually only 7 days. So what that tells us is that most of the visitors that come here are looking for short trip opportunities. So as a result of that, what we can see is that, with the results of our festivals and events that we have in the spring and fall, that creates an opportunity for us to be able to go after more visitors like those, but try to get them to stay longer. That's really been a focus for us over the last year and will continue to be a focus, but trying to, tie people to other opportunities. For example, if you come for a festival, then why not, plan a fishing trip at the same time? So it's a great opportunity for people to be able to do multiple things. And of course, we know the recreational value of our destination, what it has to offer. So, again, we want to make sure that we kind of create itineraries and opportunity for people to be able to stay longer, which, again, creates economic impact for the entire community. If you will move on to page 6. If you look at page 6, what you see is a map that shows our marketing focus. Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, California, Florida, and New York. We're going to focus a lot on our primary markets, our drive market. And so you see that kind of outline Louisiana, Mississippi. Our secondary markets will primarily be supported by digital marketing. This will allow us to really be able to focus on capturing visitors within that drive market. If you go to page 8, you will see an example of our new advertising creative. Last year, we focused on the up and down the bayou theme for our campaign. This year, we're going with the unapologetically Cajun theme. These words were tested during our branding research with locals and visitors, and they tested really well, and it really kind of denotes what this area offers as a destination. And so we want to be able to make sure that we put that in the forefront. And so all of our media, social media communications efforts will really focus on leveraging the unapologetically Cajun theme as part of our advertising. Finally, one of our new initiatives for 2018, we are very excited about our Cajun Bayou Food Trail, which will feature local restaurants that serve Cajun and Louisiana-inspired seafood. Food is one of our most popular commodities as a destination, so we're looking to leverage it as a larger part of the unapologetically Cajun theme of our destination. We believe that the focus on travelers within our drive market, along with elevating the story of our festivals and events, and our continued strong marketing push will generate another positive year in tourism in 2018. So, any questions?
Mr. Chairperson, I have a question.
Councilman Perilou?
Yes, Mr. Bush, thank you so much for being here and for the information you're giving us regarding the tourism stats for Lafourche. I would like for you to touch on the grant program that you have that I think is a very valuable asset to people in the parish that may be interested in putting something on that may bring in some tourism. Can you explain that so everyone will know exactly how it works?
Yep, the Tourism Investment Program is a program we started 2 years ago. The focus of the program is to look at expanding tourism opportunities within the parish. It is a really simple application process that's reviewed by our Tourism Investment Committee. And so the goal that they really are trying to focus on is looking at opportunities that bring new visitors to the area, but also generate overnight stays. We recognize that for us and for the entire community, we have people that come in for day trips, but, and day trips are nice, and I won't never say that those things aren't good, but we really need people to come and stay within our community. Particularly, we have such a diverse hotel system, and you have down the bayou, you have what you have in Thibodeau, and so, but we really need to find ways to generate more overnight stays, and so the tourism investment program was designed for that purpose, to be able to expand those opportunities. It's again a very simple process. You fill out an application, the committee reviews it, and they score them based on a variety of things, location, but also their ability to expand our brand, but also to be able to look at bringing new people to the area.
Thank you for that very much.
Councilman LaFont?
Timothy, I just want to thank you. When I first got on the council, I felt that the tourism was kind of in shambles, but with the help of yourself, and I forget her name.
Marguerite.
Miss Marguerite, I think Miss Marguerite, when you took over as chairman or of the head of the board, I think y'all turned things around, and it's really impressive what you guys have done and the impact that you've done in such short time. I'm just looking forward to the future with you guys. Y'all done a great job, and I think y'all finally starting to promote Lafourche Parish like it really needs to be promoted. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Councilman Bourgeois?
Mr. Bush, I want to thank you too, because when you first took the reins, the prior administration kind of didn't know that Pointe-aux-Chenes, Bayou Blue, parts of it from Lafourche Parish, as well as Berg and all of that, and you've expanded that and you've done really well, and I appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Yes, Mr. Bush, I just want to commend you and your board as well, as I echo what Councilman LaFont said. You all have done amazing. I really feel like you all have put Lafourche on the map, and in a way that's never been before, so thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Moving on to public hearings. Can I get a motion to open? Oh, where are we at? Oh, I thought you said, oh, number 10, Dr. John King, Lafourche Parish Coroner, to speak on the new location of the coroner's office. Okay, Dr. King isn't able to make it tonight. It will be deferred until January 23rd. Now, time for the public hearings. Can I get a motion to open? Moved by Councilman Perilou, second by Councilman Otan. Number 11, ordinance amending and reenacting Chapter 44, vehicles. Before I read this one, I need to defer this one. I don't have to read it out. Can you defer it for me? Okay, defer it until the first meeting in February, which is, then the second meeting in February. February 27th, because the first meeting in February will not take place because it's Mardi Gras Day. Okay, number 12, ordinance approving the attached servitude agreement between Barry L. Verdun, Susan H. Verdun, and the Lafourche Parish Council, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement. Moved by Councilman Melvin, second by Councilman Perilou. Any discussion? Any discussion from the public? One time? 2 times, 3 times? Any discussion from the council? Being none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 9-0. Number 13, ordinance provided for 2017 supplemental appropriation 17-039 within the 2017 operation and maintenance budget to adjust for year-end projections, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said transaction as provided for by Article 6 of Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter. Moved by Councilman Lorraine, second by Councilman Grow. Any discussion from the audience? 1 time, 2 times, 3 times? Any discussion from the council? Being none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 9-0. Number 14, ordinance providing for a 2017 supplemental appropriation 17-038 within the 2017 operation and maintenance budget to deobligate the Bayou Lafourche Saltwater Control Structure Project, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said transaction as provided for by Article 6 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter. Moved by Councilman Lorraine, second by Second by Councilman Bourgeois. Any discussion from the audience? One time, two times, three times. Any discussion from the council? Councilman Otan?
I just want to commend Ben Marlborough and his board on a phenomenal job and coming in under the budget and thereby saving us a little bit of money right there. So, and for those who don't know, they did close the structure for the first time this past week due to extremely low water levels and potential problems at the water intake for our parish residents. So those guys are doing a great job.
Okay. Anyone else for the council? All right. Being none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Passes 9-0. Councilman Perilou moves to close, second by Councilman Jones. All in favor? Opposed? Passes 9-0. Proposed ordinances. Councilman Otan?
15, proposed ordinance that all parish vehicles, including the parish president's parish vehicle, be required to display the Lafourche Parish government logo on both driver and front passenger doors, be required to display a 2-inch vehicle number in front of both the driver and front passenger doors and rear of vehicle, and be required to display the parish bumper sticker which reads 1-800-834-8832, lafourchegov.org on rear bumper, thereby amending Chapter 2 Administration, Article 1 in general of the Lafourche Parish Code of Ordinance to create Section 2-9. All parish vehicles required to display parish logo, parish vehicle number, and parish bumper sticker 1-800-834-8832, lafourchegov.org, proposed by Jerry LaFont. Number 16, proposed ordinance requesting 2 no dumping signs be posted on Daisy Lane between St. Philip Street and Leonard Street, Racine, Louisiana, Ward 4, District 6, Parish of Lafourche, State of Louisiana, providing for the placement of no dumping signs and providing penalties for the violations thereof. Motion is going to be moved by Councilman Perilou. Number 17, proposed ordinance approving the holding of an election in Fire Protection District Number 3 of the Parish of Lafourche, State of Louisiana, April 28, 2018, to authorize the levy of a special tax therein by Daniel Lorraine for administration. Proposed ordinance providing, number 18, proposed ordinance providing for a 2017 supplemental appropriation 17-040 within the 2017 operation and maintenance budget to adjust for year-end projections and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said transactions as provided for by Article 6 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter, Daniel Lorraine for administration. Number 19, proposed ordinance approving a non-warranty cash sale between Lafourche Parish government and David Francis Trustclair Jr. and Melanie Lynn Hatch Trustclair for adjudicated property located at 115 Linda Street, Houma, Louisiana, 70364 in the total amount of $3,423 and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said cash sale and any and all relevant documents, James Bourgeois for administration. Number 20, proposed ordinance approving an intergovernmental cooperative endeavor agreement between the Greater Lafourche Port Commission for project number 0801-05130 Airport Access Corridor, LA Highway 308 Turn Lane, Airport Access Road, and Lafourche Parish Council, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement, Daniel Lorraine for administration. Number 21, proposed ordinance approving an intergovernmental cooperative endeavor agreement between Lafourche Parish Water District for project number 08-01-05130- Airport Access Corridor, LA Highway 308, Turn Lane, Airport Access Road, and Lafourche Parish Council, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement. Daniel Lorraine for administration. Number 22, proposed ordinance approving an all gas and mineral lease between Lafourche Parish government and LLOLA LLC, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Daniel Lorraine for administration. And that brings us to resolutions. Council Chair.
Okay.
Madam
Councilman,
Chairperson, I'd like to deviate to item L, public wishing to address the council.
motion to deviate to item L, public wishing to address the council by Councilman Grow, second by Councilman Perilou. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, so let's move to L, wishing to address the council. Ms. Carleen?
Dr. Laura Battle, if you'd approach the podium. Dr. Battle, state your name and address for the record. Please remember you have 3 minutes.
Dr. Laura Batto, 917 Jackson Street, Thibodaux, Louisiana. May I pass this on?
Oh,
I'm
Mr.
here
Batto, I
on the
just wanted to
10th
mention you had 3 minutes.
Oh, is that Mr. LaFont? All right. I know. Okay, I'm not going to take long at all. I wanted to, on this anniversary of our having worked together for 10 years. Councilman Lorraine started with me way back then in 2009, and we've worked together for 10 years for the Louisiana Girls Leadership Academy, so this is an anniversary for us. And we want to thank you for what we believe is a wise judgment in helping us to mentor new leaders for the future. This is not a final program. This was just to put something in your hands so that you will know the dates of the Louisiana Girls Leadership Academy. All of the keynotes and other sessions will be on the next program that I bring to you. But you will be kept up to date on anything we do. Anytime
Dr. Batto, could you lift your mic so we could,
Oh,
I'm not sure what's going on with that.
Okay, I'm sorry. Every time I update our industry partners or the Commission on Women or Nicholls State University, I will update you, not to give you more paperwork, but to get your feedback on what we are doing. So that's the only reason I'm here tonight, to give you a first glance at the Louisiana Girls Leadership Academy, the dates, and the hope that you will come to some of the events. Councilman Lorraine has come as often as he could. Councilman Sposito has been one of our judges for the Energy and Environment Project, which is because those are the two most important resources to Lafourche and Louisiana, and President Cantrell has also participated in the service awards. So do you have any questions?
Councilman Lorraine?
Yeah, I know what you're looking for.
What?
You didn't say that part. Your 25,000.
Oh, yes, sir. I thought that y'all already voted on that. Oh, am I supposed to say that tonight?
No, Dr. Batto. I
Okay,
think you
well,
can request that as you normally do through letter or email or
this
however
thing
it
doesn't
is.
like me. We will be sending a letter because we are getting the facilities right now and the travel for the people that we're reaching out to. Thank you.
Ms.
Oh,
Chairman,
Councilman
Ms. Batto, I'd like for the administration to explain. They say they had a glitch in the amendment, so I'd like for the administration to share some light to everybody in here for the 25,000.
Right.
Mr. Jimmy,
I can answer that.
could you turn on your, okay.
Okay, I don't. I don't know anything about a glitch.
Oh, Mr. Himmel?
Yeah, I can answer. What happened was when council brought it back up to override the veto, they put on it the original amendment, budget amendment, but whenever council was first voting on their budget amendments, they had amended that budget amendment. When they put it back to override it, instead of putting the amended budget to be overridden, they put the original. So we're in the process now of speaking with the DA's office to see
So you're
what could
saying
be
it was a
done to
clerical
fix it.
error, right? You're saying it was some
That-
clerical
yeah,
error?
Yeah, what happened was they left off the expense line. So written the way it would have been written, it would have been just sitting there unable to be used. We need an expense line in it.
But
And
since you were-
Mr. Jones had amended it, added the expense line, but when they overrode it, they didn't override the one with the expense line. So it's a formality at this point that we're trying to get clear with the DA.
Okay, because if the first motion was with the expense line, it would appear, and Anna Marie, I don't know if this is accurate or not, but it would appear that that wasn't, in other words, you didn't go back to what had to be overridden.
We didn't go back to what was amended.
Right, what was amended
So
here.
they overrode
So
the
that,
wrong one, basically. They were
so would
over-
we have to do that again?
Well, that's what we're working on the DA with. To see if
Okay.
we'll be able to just put it back in, or whether or not it'll be handed over to administration to correct it, if you will.
Okay, well, I'll send a letter.
Councilman Jones, did you have any
Yeah.
more?
Mr. Email, wouldn't you, a simple proposed ordinance to do a supplemental to include that miscellaneous grant?
Yes, well, that's the point where I'm saying it would have to be presented by Mr. Cantrell, if I'm not mistaken.
So that can be on the next
Yes,
agenda.
sir.
The money is there, right?
Well,
The money is there, right?
yeah, we just need to amend it
You
to
need to
get
amend
in
it to put
place
miscellaneous grant,
to free
so
the
you can
money up.
spend it. Am I right?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, so I know you'll be happy, Mr. Lafont. I'll be back next time. Thank you.
And Ms. Battle.
Yes.
I was here in 2009 too with you.
Mr. Jones, and you presented the amendment this time. I apologize. But I have a picture of you of the ship.
Miss Laura, I just say like the commercial, let her have it.
Always, Mr. Lafont.
Thank you, Dr. Batto.
Thank you, Doctor.
Mr. Todd Thibodeau, if you'd approach the podium, sir. State your name and address for the record, Mr. Thibodeau, and please remember you have 3 minutes.
Good evening, Todd Thibodeau, resident of 754 Choctaw Road. I wish to address the council about an ordinance 5517 for clarification of firearms, use of firearms during daylight hours. I just recently had a incident where I was quoting an ordinance that I may have been breaking, and after we did some investigation, it seems it's kind of vague. It looks like there was a few amendments made where they lowered the decibel to 50 decibels. I'm not very sure if everyone that was involved in that realizes what 50 decibels is. 50 decibels is actually less than we're talking today. So it seems it's kind of they contradict each other. There's an area in there added that speak of firearms, but I was told by deputies that it could be taken differently between different officers. So I was hoping to get some clarification on that.
Could you read this part specific to firearms, please?
Yes, ma'am.
And I know I've spoken with Mr. Thibodeau a few times on this. I know he's spoken to Councilman Jones and Captain Champagne.
And we also had, since then, we had a meeting with Captain Shelby, and he just basically said it's why it's hard to enforce it because it's vague. It's to be interpreted differently. It says no person or business may discharge firearms repeatedly in a residential area after legal sunset if sound level exceeds 50 decibels or interferes with everyday human life with exceptions of law enforcement officers in the line of duty. It actually has a table listed with different decibels at different times, but from 7 a.m. to 9:59 p.m. and from 10 p.m. to 6:59 a.m. it's actually the same. It's 50 decibels. So
Ms. Carlene's showing me, I think this is, walk up here with that table. I think this is different than what you and I looked at the other day.
It's actually, no, it's the same.
It's the same 45? Okay. All right,
that's after 10 p.m. 45. Yes, I'm sorry.
okay.
Chairman, what was that
Councilman Font.
ordinance number again, please? I missed it. Is it 65?
55.
Oh, 55.
So he has someone in his neighborhood that is complaining about him. Have any of you experienced it? Councilman Font, you have something else right now?
I want to ask what happened.
Go
so
ahead.
we can understand.
Go ahead.
You can explain it if you know what's going on.
I'll let him, go ahead and
I can
explain.
explain it. I live on Choctaw Road, fairly rural area, where there's a lot of shooting that takes place, recreation and on our property. I have an acre of land, woods behind me, and the sheriff's department was called for a shooting one day. Plinking kids, 22s with my kids, and they quoted me. First they said that I was within my rights, and they came back and said that I was possibly breaking the noise ordinance. So since then, it's becoming escalating to something with this particular resident down next door to me that I feel we need to address here. I'm not sure when the 50 decibels, when all this was put in place, and I don't know what it was prior, but if you do any research on decibels, like light traffic in the city, 75, 80 decibels. A firearm rates between 125 and 160 decibels, depending on the caliber, the length of the barrel, such forth. So if you're from the Jack Bay, Choctaw Kramer area, anytime you ride down there, you hear family shooting. We have hunting land all around us. I have a lease just probably 1,200, 1,500 yards from the curb that I live in that basically would be over 50 decibels anytime we pull the trigger.
We can look at it. The only thing I see that might, I know there's ordinances in this parish, and it fluctuates on where you at, on the distance you have to be away from a home to shoot a firearm. And I don't know what it is in y'all area.
Well, I don't know about the ordinance. There's actually no law, no state law, which we clarified with Captain Shelby recently.
There's actually a parish ordinance on discharging a firearm within certain distance of homes, residents. I'd have to look it up, but there is an ordinance on it.
It does.
That ordinance only 10th Ward? I have to check it out, but I know there was
We're
some, I
safe
thought it was
location.
different areas had different, I know one was 500 foot
have that one.
and one was 300 foot. And I couldn't understand why we had throughout the parish different, different footage on discharging a firearm.
So the 10th Ward has rules, but the rest of the parish does not, other than within
He's saying,
the
but I
city
thought it
limits.
was
Oh,
the whole
they
parish.
had some in the Zalmans.
Hang on a second, Councilman Lorraine. What did you say? Finish, you still have the floor,
Yeah,
Councilman Font?
I thought it was in other parishes. I don't think it's the whole parish, but I think different parts of the parish do have zoning. Some with 300 foot, if I remember right, and some are 500 foot.
Okay.
And I had looked at it a while back, but I'm not really familiar with it.
Councilman Otan?
Yeah, so I had a similar issue some time back with a skeet shooting range, where they were staying late at night, and it's certainly problematic, and I think I agree with the nighttime, issue, but it's really difficult. We're always I say half of my complaints are neighbor versus neighbor, which is unfortunately more oftentimes than civil, so it's unfortunately it works that way. My question is, has anybody discussed with Captain Shelby on what a possible remedy is? So my understanding is we probably need to amend this ordinance. What is a recommendation from the sheriff's office? This is not an isolated incident. This happens, I'm sure, all over the place. So I know you're referencing Kramer and Choctaw and Chackbay,
Right,
but
I would assume
but it's like
happened
in
before.
Valentine, I have the same issue because there's a skeet shooting range. So my request would be for whatever councilman is representing, maybe to meet with Captain Shelby and see if we can get a recommendation from him to make it crystal clear to the deputies out there to, for not only for him to be clear
Well,
on it,
we'd
but
have
also
to-
for his neighbor and.
We'd have to handle the ordinance first before the police we'd have to adjust the ordinance, amend the ordinance.
What I'm saying is let's base that on not necessarily science, but based on experience from the sheriff's office, specifically Captain Shelby is what I'm saying.
Okay, Councilman Lorraine?
Yeah, we had some ordinances in the Zalmans. I don't know if you remember Jerry, you remember Mr. Cologne? Yeah. He come here and the BBs used to hit on his trailer and we took care of that. So I'm sure they got some scattered throughout the whole parish, different things. And I'm gonna tell you something else. Where I live, I haven't been in the back in 15 years. They shoot rifles all the time. If you think I'm gonna go back there and get shot, they ain't gonna have it. They can come shoot me in my house if they want.
Councilman Bourgeois?
Yes, Mr. Thibodeau, I agree with you. 50 decibels is, unless you're shooting subsonic rounds,
And even then,
it
when
basically outlaws gunfire if you can hear it. And I really understand the plight of other people because in Bayou Blue, there's recently opened a skeet shooting range and all of that. You're wanting, correct me if I'm wrong, you're wanting your teens to be able to shoot without being illegal. And you're
Correct.
wanting to compromise with people that want to hear gunfire.
Right, reasonable daylight hours. I seen it was, whatever this amendment was directed towards, it was actually changed from 8 PM to legal sunset a few years ago, which is very reasonable. Obviously, with the way time changes, people going to bed. That's not the problem. We talking Saturday and Sunday, 12, 1 o'clock, midday, recreational shooting in safe areas. Let me add that I'm 3 houses down from where Mr. Dave Mail had a gun shop for 40 years as a gunsmith and fired every day for his test rounds. I'm actually a licensed gunsmith and firearm dealer on the side also. But what we do is, the problem is not that. The problem is just the recreational shooting. This has happened. I've been at this residence 6 months. I spoke to everyone. We have like 13 lots, I think 9 or 10 houses there. I spoke to everyone except this woman. When we tried to speak, it obviously didn't end well. Actually, my neighbor is from the other side is actually here with me also. They're in the same boat. They like to recreational shoot with their kids. And we just want some clarification. I don't want to be battling this constantly with the sheriff's department or anybody legally.
Thank you.
Councilman Grow?
I just wanted to mention, I talked to Mr. Thibodeau, and he made this investment, you know, knowing that there was a gunsmith by, and that you could do this, and he made it known that he's into guns, and he made an investment in the property to be able to do it, and it has been done, and this particular resident has been complaining about it, so like some of the others have said, we just need some clarity for both sides, and I think, I agree with Councilman Otan, we need to get with Shelby and see what they recommend, and let's go with the sheriff's office, because they're the ones that ultimately will be policing it, for sure.
Councilman Jones?
Yes, Todd, we spoke, I think in Bayou Blue is 500 yards. I think down in the 10th Ward in DeSalmo is 300. And we did that Bayou Blue about 5 years ago. We had some problems. But there actually no zoning ordinance in the parish to prohibit you from shooting. It's just that we need to get with the council from that area and come up with a yardage, a footage. But then again, Choctaw is a hunting land. You've been leasing that land from Choctaw back to Sugar Ridge for
Almost 18 years.
18, 20 years. So maybe we need to work on the ordinance and adjust it to that.
And I'm not trying to open up a whole other can of worms about yardage. It's not a safety issue that we're coming upon. It's a noise issue that she, and this may not become anything. Actually, she put a for sale sign in her front yard today. But I don't want to continue to battle this in the future.
Only thing I want to say is I'll try to meet with Captain Shelby, with any other councilman that may be interested in meeting with him. And like you say, if I walk through Choctaw, that's all you hear is gunfire. When I'm in Sugar Ridge, actually, I hear gunfire. Kramer, gunfire. You know, I'm used to it now. Before I used to duck. It's our way of life. I mean, we have to make sure we do whatever we can to make sure we don't lose our way of life, but at the same time, being fair to other residents. So I'm anxious to hear recommendations from Captain Shelby. Councilman Melvin.
I'm sure maybe you've tried to speak to the resident.
Yeah, actually,
Okay. And I'm sure it wasn't great. Ms. Posito, have you tried as council person, though, to speak to the resident? I'm just asking. That's what I always try to do.
I have not.
Okay.
May I add, Captain Shelby actually made a recommendation, even though he said that at this point, in his eyes, I wasn't doing anything criminally, that it would be a civil matter if she tried to attack me any further, that he would try to intervene with a meeting and try to make contact. But judging, he had a lot of information on his desk from a prior case with the owners that built the house that I bought it from. He didn't expect it to go very well. So that was last week, actually. I'm not sure the current status, if he was going to try to intervene as one last measure before he put us on our own, but I hadn't heard back.
And Councilman Melvin, that's why I haven't. It ends up being a civil matter in that case. Councilman Perilou.
Yeah, it sounds like the issue just comes down to a decibel level issue. Does the Sheriff's Department have a dB meter they go out with to check these things? Does anyone know? So who's to say if it's above or below the decibel level? That's my
I believe the
question.
Sheriff's Office does go out with something, right?
You do have them?
Yeah, they do.
Okay. So, and you mentioned earlier 50 decibels is about our speaking level here, right?
This is a brand new calibrated decibel meter. And we had spiking up to 68 decibels just in here.
Understood. I'm a musician, so like if I'm playing drums or something, we're blowing that ordinance out of the water.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
I did a little trial and error with the lawnmower, chainsaw was 100 decibels, lawnmower, sitting on it, my riding mower with.
That's our issue. That's the ordinance issue we have. It's not about gun safety and none of that, because it sounds like that's being taken care of. It's about researching a proper decibel level to revisit that ordinance with. That's my 2
Councilman Otan?
cents. Yeah, I think we hear you loud and clear. We just got to make everything crystal clear. What I would ask is that you also, when you meet with Captain Shelby, bring up about tannerite, and should we make a law banning it? I mean, you can be at 3,000 feet, and, you know, right now, when they're shooting that tannerite, it's rocking people's houses. So at some point in time, I think that needs to be, we need to address the tannerite. It's getting bad. From the fire department's perspective, we get a lot of calls if somebody thinks there's an explosion. Generally, it's a bunch of kids that's shooting tannerite, and as far as a mile away from some of these residences.
You're not doing that, though.
No, but
I know.
I actually do think, me being in the fire business, I think there is a state law, maybe not ordinances now put in place, because this is a new product on the market. for footage, not decibels, but footage from so many houses, so many feet from a roadway, because it became a problem.
Councilman LaFont?
I bet you a lot of people broke the law during this last holiday with fireworks, because they had some fireworks go off in my neighbor's house that sound a lot more than 50 decibels.
That's right. That's right. And what I'm trying to avoid, not even from the firearms perspective, is being realistic that anything
Right.
we do by these terms, we be breaking the ordinance. They are not.
Right.
Okay, Mr. Thibodeau, thank you.
Thank you,
And I'll
sir.
be in touch.
All right, thank y'all.
Mrs. Carolyn Smith, if you'd approach the podium, ma'am. State your name and address for the record, Ms. Smith. Please remember you have 3 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Carolyn Smith. I live at 237 Buford Street. This is not my first time coming here. I have an issue with the same thing. I had asked to propose the ordinance on Greenville and Buford Street, right at St. Patrick, no dumping sign. Well, it's still happening. I think I talked to Mr. Corey, and nobody came and put a sign up. So I'm asking you to kind of propose an ordinance this time, so I won't have to go talk to the neighbor to tell him, don't do it, because he see me videotaping him, and he pointed a finger at me. So that's why I came back here today. Another
Excuse me,
thing
who pointed the finger at you?
Yes.
Over here.
Oh, wait.
I'm up here.
Okay, yes. Yeah, he
Who pointed you?
He pointed his finger at
Who?
me. I don't know exactly who he is, but I know he live on Greenville.
Oh, one of your neighbors that's
Yes, one of
dumping?
yeah, it's dumping, and there's
Oh.
a lot of more people dump too. So they starting a dumping ground right in front of my house. And it's going in the drainage ditch, and it's moving back in the 40 Arpa Canal. So right now, I got a bale of hay back there and a down tree, and it's done dammed up my house.
And you've
the
already spoke
canal
to a
back there.
council member, you said? Councilman Perilou?
Yeah, as far as my recollection, we passed an ordinance to put signs up there.
It never happened,
So the signs never went up.
no.
Okay.
Mr. Cantrell, is there any way you can have your Public Works Director, James,
I'll
check
have
in to
James
see
look
if?
I'll have James look
Yeah, they
into
can-
it. Because we don't want dumping for sure in the parish, 'cause it gives us extra problems. too.
Yeah, that's Buford, and you've been to my house.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
know where it's at.
We have your number. Mr. Cantrell, can we provide the phone number to your administration to
Yes.
possibly contact her?
Definitely.
Let you know?
I think Mr. Washington had came out to my house, but the canal has gotten worse now. So if he can come back and look at that bale of hay, my side of the canal is lower, and they dredged it, and the other side of the canal, they made it higher. So the water coming, is eroding into my yard. So that bale of hay and that down tree in the canal needs to be removed.
Okay, so the council takes care of passing the ordinance to put up the sign. The administration follows through with putting up the sign and removing any debris or anything that's been dumped there. So, as Mr. Jimmy said, he'll take care of, I guess, sending someone else out there or whatever it is you think you're going to do.
Can you leave your number and phone number so I can get in touch with you?
Yes, I will.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Oh,
And
Councilman
I'm
Perilou?
sorry you had to come out again for the same issue. We'll cover down on it this time for sure.
Councilman Grow.
I'd like to deviate back to G, 23 resolutions.
Move to go back to G, number 20, resolutions by Councilman Gross, second by Councilman Perilou. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 9-0. Number 23, resolution approving the recommendation of the Office of Coastal Zone Management, which denies the barriers across man-made canals and natural waterways permit application submitted by Michael Leeret for the construction of a gate across X Bypass Canal, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Councilman Melvin. Any discussion?
Yes. I'm going
Councilman
to defer
Melvin?
this because I'm meeting with CZM and some of the residents from the street. I'm going to defer it to 12318.
Deferred 12318.
Thank you.
Okay, number 24, resolution to officially name the Butch Hill Boat Launch, the Lusco Boat Launch at Butch Hill, moved by Councilman Bourgeois. Anybody, second by Councilman Perilou. Any discussion? Councilman Otan?
Yeah, just Mr. Lesko in the audience tonight, or no? No. Okay, I'll just state that, as I have in the past, I'm not a fan of naming things after people, and I respect that, you know, this gentleman may have provided property, et cetera. I'm sure there was council people and maybe volunteers that helped to get that boat launch going, so I'll stick to my guns and continue to vote no on naming, public, items after people. That's just my thought, and I always think of Kurt Como, a veteran that died from our parish. Nothing's named after him, and just sad, so I'll stick to that.
Councilman Paraloo.
Yeah, Armin, just to point out, it's not parish property, it's his actual property. It's just what we refer to the boat launch as. So we're not naming anything that's on the parish books. We lease that property from the owner, Mr. Lusco. So I just wanted to clear that up.
So then if it's not ours, how do we name it?
Because we lease it and we put a sign up there.
Oh, okay. Any, Councilman Lorraine?
Yeah, that doesn't have to be done by ordinance. Well,
It's got to be,
I'm just asking.
Ms. Garland.
You're still paying for it with taxpayers' dollars. Should be done by ordinance, I would think.
He's still living? Oh, I'm sorry.
We're actually wanting to name it after the family, not a particular person. And that was it, because it's the family that has that.
I'm not sure if we have to, Councilman LaFont, you have some more? Councilman Bourgeois? I'm not sure if we have to name it by ordinance or not.
If
Councilman
Mr.
Bourgeois?
If Mr. Paraloo will pull a second, I'll defer it to the next meeting. We'll figure it out.
Okay, Councilman Paraloo agrees to pull his second. You want to pull your motion, Councilman Bourgeois?
Yeah.
Defer it to what date?
And defer it to the January 23rd.
And you'll find out if we need to do so by ordinance or not? And if
Yes,
so, then you'll pull it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Number 25, resolution requesting the Lafourche Parish District Attorney to investigate the Bayou Blue Water Park that was built without permits, to also investigate who authorized the contractor to proceed without coming before Lafourche Parish Council, moved by Councilman Jones, second by Councilman Paraloo. Any discussion? Councilman Bourgeois.
Yes, I'd like to bring up two resolutions. Resolution number 17-186, moved by Ms. Lorraine, second by Mr. Grow, that I wasn't even present. I was at military duty at Fort Polk, Louisiana, where there was 7-0 to proceed with the contract, authorizing parish president to sign, awarding the contract to Byron E. Talbot for this project.
Okay, that's the contract award. Is there a notice to proceed? No.
I'm just the standard one
Okay.
we do on all of them.
Anything else? Mr. Councilman Lorraine?
Yeah, I just want to say that this had started with John Arnold, who went on for a while. There's a lot of times it was voted on, and if there was a mistake, if they made a mistake with permits, just all you got to do is after the fact.
Okay.
That's what's going to happen. I mean, we even had a councilman sitting up here that wanted to get rid of the project. But when it came up to vote on it, he decided to pull it. It seems like when there's things in Bayou Blue area and things in my area, it gets stalled. You know, we're going to go to the DA. We go to the DA so much that I think we should move the chambers into the DA's office.
Okay.
That's how often we go over there.
Councilman Grow.
My question is, I mean, did they get the permit after it started? Does anybody know?
Does anyone with the administration want to, Tony, I see, I can't see if your light's on or not, Tony.
Okay, that's fine.
I-
We're actually still waiting for them to come in. The permit is ready. We've been waiting for them to get the permit actually from DNR, which they just recently received, correct?
So the work was completed without a permit?
Mm-hmm.
Is a permit from DNR a lot harder to come? Do they take long? Is it normal that projects will start without a permit? Or this one
It's not
fell through the
normal.
cracks and we just don't have a good enough system?
It's not normal that they start without the permit. They actually came into a pre-plan review meeting and we gave them all the information that they needed to get. Each procedure as far as permitting, permits from DNR, coastal zone, you know, everything. And they started without it. So we did notify them. Miss Amanda's notified them a few times. And they was actually waiting for information from DNR, which they presented to them and ended up getting the permit. We notified them that now that they have the permit, that they could come in and get it, but they're gonna be paying a fine, you know, for the permit for the water splash park. We haven't heard from them yet.
And then my other question was, proceed without coming before the Lafourche Parish Council. I would think the vote approves it.
Was
and
awarding
they
the
don't- Yeah,
contract.
they don't have to come back. I mean, and normally we just award the money and then it goes through the permit process. I don't agree with the second part. I don't know why that's there before coming to the Lafourche Parish Council. He mentioned when that was done. I do find it odd that there's no permit still. But you answered my question about that. So I'm just curious as to why the second part of that is in there.
Councilman Jones?
Yeah, Alderman Mike, the letter to proceed is with the resolution. When we vote, did anyone issue a letter to proceed with this project?
Did the administration give the contractors a notice to proceed? Like, why did they proceed without being told to and without proper permits? That's,
I'm sure they were told to, notice to proceed, because once the thing is passed by the council, usually the contract starts off.
but not without permits. I mean, normally
Well,
not.
I don't
without-
know about the permits. We're not part of the
Okay.
permit factor.
Well, we are, the administration is.
No, but I mean, the administration doesn't go check everybody, see if they have a permit or not. Not-
Wait a minute, Tony, that is what your department is. You do check to make sure, permits are used, that's not
We was actually, we were staying in touch with the Byron Talbot, Leonard Chauvin, and ones who's in charge of it. We don't go visit addresses just to see if someone started a project. We go out when they're in the process of doing the project, we go out and do inspections according to what they're doing. My office was never notified that they were.
So the contractor's in violation. Councilman Jones?
It's the contractor that's in violation.
Yes.
It's not the parish, it's not the permit department.
Okay.
They know the procedure.
Councilman Jones?
If a constituent or someone is building a building in his parish, he must have all the permits to start. He get a letter to proceed with his project from the permits office. On this council, when the project has everything in order, they come to the council with an ordinance or resolution awarding the project with a letter to proceed. And that's been like that forever. So starting the project without the proper permits and a letter to proceed from this council is totally wrong.
Can I ask, when did we realize the permits weren't done, before or after the ribbon cutting? There was a ribbon cutting at this project site, right? You were not there? Okay. Councilman Perilou?
Yeah, I think the ribbon cutting was in the winter time, which was odd to me, because who cuts a ribbon for a water park in like the winter? Thanks.
Councilman Bourgeois?
Mr. Jones, I'm going to talk about you said about projects not starting. I've been a licensed contractor for nearly 30 years. And one of the biggest problems I have, because I work in a lot of parishes in addition to Lafourche, is there's no ordinances or teeth for people that don't get permits. I mean, Mr. Bro goes and or one of his people put a cease and desist.
fines, right?
But there's no penalty, there's no fines, there's no nothing on your gentleman that wants to build his house and all of that. There's not a lot of that. Especially my line of work, demolition and concrete, a lot of people don't get permits. And Mr. Bro's got 2 people, and he can't police the whole parish, but when he does catch them, they go get a permit. And this is not as a councilman, but as a professional licensed contractor in the state of Louisiana, Mississippi, Texas, and California. Lafourche Parish has the least amount of permitted projects until they get caught that I've seen anywhere I've worked.
I don't know how statistically accurate that data is. Mr. Tony, can you explain that they're all, what you were just nodding your head no, or?
Well, we do
Is-
have penalties if they do a project
Thank you.
without permits. And we notified the contractor of the procedure and the amount of the fine, and we still haven't heard anything from them. They haven't picked up the permit.
What is the amount of the
and
fine?
I want to say the fine is $900-something besides the permits. So
Councilman
they're getting,
Jones?
I mean, they've been notified, and we're keeping in touch. And Miss Amanda has been going back and forth with the contract, and it's, let me see. Key Environmental, is correct? Amanda, you want to come up? Thank you. If y'all would give her a minute.
State your name and address for the record, please.
Amanda Wazam, 105 Rue Wyatt, Philip Shriver. So I haven't been keeping in touch with the Key. I'm able to access the DNR database, and so I can see the request for information from DNR. Key Environmental is the consultant that I guess the parish hired to do the permitting for the project. And so I'm just able to see when DNR requests information, the answers provided through Key Environmental to DNR. But the DNR permit was issued, I think it was December 20th, so.
Madam Chair, can I ask a question?
Councilman Melvin?
Amanda, at your job description, are there rules
Sure.
and expectations? And what happens if you don't follow those rules and expectations?
Well, I don't do my job properly.
And what happens if you continue or have some incidences with
Well,
that?
that's never happened to me, so I'm
Well, I'm
not quite
saying,
sure.
if it does, I'm just being theoretical.
Yeah,
What happens?
I mean, I
You get a
guess,
talking to, written up, fired, right?
yeah.
So we have rules. We are a parish of rules. So sometimes we might not like the rules, but we have to follow the rules, correct?
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's all I'm saying. Whether it's this contract or the Man in the Moon or whoever,
Yeah.
we have rules. They're in place for a reason. I didn't put them there, but I'm just trying to support the parish here. Until we change the rules, we need to follow the rules, correct?
Totally, yeah.
Okay, that's the end of that story.
Councilman LaFont?
Tony, you need a permit to pour cement in Lafourche Parish? I don't think so.
Yeah, well, you need a DNR permit. Any fill excavation, anything like that, you do.
You don't need a permit from the parish.
You need
pour
a,
cement.
you need a coastal zone activity certificate.
So if somebody wants to put a sidewalk in their yard, front yard, they need a permit?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a residential exemption, but I think that limits pretty much to the maximum amount of like the house. Like anything that's within the house, any other kind of fill or anything like that would have to go through DNR. And then a coastal zone activity certificate, which is the local. But, yeah.
Councilman Jones?
Yeah, Mr. Bourgeois, you've been a contractor for 30 years. I've been a councilman for 24 years. And back in 1992, the contractors was doing a lot of this stuff. That's why all these rules came into place, to correct the stuff in the parish. If you expect someone to build a home or build a shed in the yard or whatever to do the proper permit, I think the parish should do the same. They should follow their own procedures.
Councilman Bourgeois?
Mr. Jones, I love permits. And I'll tell you what, I mean, I wish every construction project you had to have a licensed contractor. There's no law that says, hey, I'm a lawyer, but if the case is less than $1,000, you can do it on your own. A doctor, I mean, hey, I'm sorry, it's just a 1 centimeter thing. Don't have to have, every other professional business there's no dollar limit in all of this. We make exceptions to people, homeowners and da-da-da-da-da-da. You don't operate on yourself, you don't defend yourself, you don't teach yourself, what have you. I'm in favor of permits. I think everything should have a permit, and I think everything should be done by a licensed contractor. So I support permits. I support all of it. But I think there's a mindset where people think permits are not good. Permits actually increase property values. They actually allow banks from out of state to loan property because they know things are built to the uniform.
Okay, so you're in
commercial code.
agreement with the rest of the council that's saying a permit should have been done? Is
Oh,
that
I love
correct?
permits. That's
Okay.
what I want to say. Yes.
All right, Councilman LaFont?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, any further discussion? Shaney, please state your name and address for the record, please.
Shaney Hill, 4876 Highway 1 Matthews. Just listening to this is very disturbing to me, and I have a question. I am from District 5, and I sat on that rec board when they were playing in the splash park. Where is this water draining from this splash park? Is it draining into the Hollywood Canal? Because we already have an issue with the amount of water going into the Hollywood Canal.
Okay, now that is a separate issue,
No,
but
it's not. Because if these people needed to have permits before, that's when they submit a drainage plan.
But the permit has been
If a permit
issued
was
now,
not
they're
filed
saying.
for or issued, then where is this water draining?
Mr. Cantrell,
I have
do
friends
you know
and
the answer to
family
that?
that live near the Hollywood Canal on Bayou Blue. And there is a drainage issue, and you continue to build and you continue to dump water there.
Councilman Melvin?
From my understanding, speaking when this whole thing started, since I've been a councilman, there's no recirculation.
No.
So I know that, I was told
Right.
it does dump, so that's one question. Most splash parks have recirculation.
Okay, Mr. Cantrell, sorry. Did you know where it's draining to? Or does
I
Tony?
can look at it and find out. I just know where it goes.
Mr. Bro, did you know?
I could get with Aaron on that as far as where it's draining. My thing about this whole project here is, you know, we keep saying how that it shouldn't have been started or that the parish's involvement in it and stuff. What it actually boils down to is the engineering contractor that's doing the project is the ones who should have made sure they didn't start till they had the permit. Bottom line. It's not the permit department's fault, the administration's fault. These guys do this all the time. They know the procedure. It's there. They the ones who should have had this permit done before starting the project. You can't blame it on anybody else.
Mr. Cantrell, is there any way the contractor can come before the council, maybe engineer, and explain to us why the project was started without being properly permitted?
We could ask
And possibly give us the information that Ms. Hill is
Ms.
requesting?
Positell, I know as a fact, there's many people, and I'm like James, I like permits, and we make sure we follow them. My son does a great job, make sure that all the permits are achieved before he starts a project. And a lot of problems is with other contractors, and I'm not going to mention any names. I know Mr. Bro knows some of them. That's just starts projects and all ask and just get going. And sometimes we catch them, the projects halfway started. And some people live in the country, they say they don't feel like they should get a permit or anything. You know, that's the upset of the people of Lafourche Parish that lives in the country.
Okay, so this time the contractor got caught then?
Well,
All right, so hopefully we can get that information by next council meeting, Mr. Bro or Mr. Cantrell?
Mr.
As far as for the drainage,
Yes, where it's draining to, and
Yeah, I
why
can
was
find-
it
I can find
started
I mean, if
without?
it's not recirculating, then it's gotta be draining into the Hollywood Canal.
It is not recirculating. Councilman Grow?
Do we need an investigation, or, Tony, do you know who told him to maybe start? I
no,
mean,
but I could find out. As
well, I
far as
mean-
for what you talking about, Mike?
do you know if anybody told him to start?
No, they just started.
Okay.
Okay, well, Councilman Jones, I think do you want to
As far
move
as I know,
forward
they
with
just
this
started.
resolution?
I want to move forward with
Okay,
it.
so we have a motion for the resolution and a second. Did you have some? Any further discussion? Being none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Is that just one nay? Okay. Is that Mr. Bourgeois? Mr. Bourgeois? 8-1. I'm sorry, I can't hear and determine whose voice is what. Passes. 8-1. Number 27. 26? Oh. Resolution requesting the Lafourche Parish District Attorney to render an opinion on the following. Number 1, can a council member hire a civil service employee? Number 2, can a council member supervise a civil service employee? And number 3, what is the violation if a council member interferes with an administrative function? Moved by Councilman Jones, second by? Second by Councilman Paralew. Any discussion?
I just
Councilman
want
Lorraine?
to ask, is this intended to a present councilman or a previous councilman?
Councilman Jones?
And I'm looking at number 3. Number 3 says, what is the violation if a councilman interferes with administrative function? Allegedly, that's been going on for 2 years.
Mr. Chairman, Ms. Chairman, Mr. Lorraine, It's been going on for, let me answer your last question first. It's been going on for more than 2 years, because you've been a big part of it for 32 years.
No, you made a mistake.
What the heart of this thing is, I want to know, by the home rule charter, can we hire? And I want it in writing. So, I mean, we know you've been on here for 32 years, or 34 years.
No.
Do you do any hiring?
No.
All right. We want it in writing.
I voted as a council to hire department heads or whatever,
I'd say civil service employee.
you know.
This is
Civil
talking about
service
civil
employee.
If I could do the hiring, I'd be sitting in the parish president's chair,
Well,
Okay.
you partly in
you
there.
know.
You one
And,
third of the
and try, Mr. Jones, you slipping, try 35.
Okay, let's move on. Any further discussion? Councilman Grow.
Okay, I feel like the first two questions, I mean, everybody knows that. Why do we need that? The third question, violation if a council member interferes with an administrative function, I would think penalties would be in accordance with what they interfered with. And interfering it can be real gray. I imagine if you do one thing, it would be a big fine. If you do another one, it's different. And that would come from the ethics board, right? I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of indirect questions.
Councilman Jones?
Mr. Grow, this is a question sent to the district attorney office. They requested it be sent in a letter of a resolution. And that's exactly what I'm doing.
Okay. Councilman Bourgeois?
Is Mr. Bagala civil service?
No.
Is Ms. Babin civil service? Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Oh, Councilman Jones?
No.
Okay. Let's move it to a vote. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes. Pardon me? Okay. Passes 8-1 with Councilman Lorraine voting no. All right, 27, resolution requesting administration to outline the procedures for creating budget amendments and de-obligations and to provide a copy to the Lafourche Parish Council members and to the legislative staff. Moved by Councilman Jones, second by Councilman Paraloo. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. I can't hear. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 7-2 with Bourgeois and Lorraine being the nays. Number 28, resolution creating an outstanding citizen award program, moved by Councilman Paraloo, second by Councilman Jones. Any discussion? Councilman Paraloo?
Yeah, I just want to preface this real quick. We've been discussing it. I originally asked the council members over a year ago if anyone had interest in formulating a committee like this, and it was met with approval. Basically, it's an initiative to recognize citizens of the parish for contributions to the parish that make the parish a better place to live. And there's some guidelines attached. There is going to be a nomination form that's going to be coming shortly, as in like tomorrow. So I'd like to see this thing up and running for February with the nomination process, which will be going to Mrs. Carlene's email address so we can centralize the program. And so far there's 3 committee members, Mr. Grow, myself, and Mr. Jones. Actually 4. I think Mr. Otam volunteered for it as well. So if anyone else wants to be on the committee, you're more than welcome to sign up. All we'll do is go through some nominations and take it from there.
We do have to make sure we don't have a quorum on that committee, though. So if you have 4 already, that's all we need.
Yeah. So that's it in a nutshell. Just giving back to the community as a council to make sure that the people know that are doing good things, they're being seen, they're being heard, and they're being commended for it. And I think the citizens deserve a program like this. Thanks.
It's a great idea, Councilman Paraloo. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 8-1 with Councilman Bourgeois being the nay. 29, resolution reappointing 1 commissioner to represent the faith-based community on a Lafourche Parish Children and Youth Planning Board Moved by Councilman Otan, second by Councilman Perilou.
And that will be Ron Sapier.
Mr. Sapier. It's already second. Any discussion?
Is that board
Councilman?
meeting actively? Yeah, I have, okay, I don't need a speech, you just shook your head.
Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Oh, Councilman Otan? Did you have? Oh. Passes 9-0. Congratulations, Mr. Sapier. Did you have something to say? No. Number 30, resolution appointing one member to the 5th Ward Gravity Drainage District Number 5 Board. Can someone move on that for me? Moved by Councilman Otan, second by Councilman Perilou. Any discussion? All in favor? Oh,
That individual is Randall Benoit.
is Randall Benoit here? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 9-0. Number 31, resolution approving a memorandum of understanding, MOU, by and between the Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness, GOSEP, and Lafourche Parish Government relating to the public assistance funding for eligible disaster recovery efforts, emergency declaration FEMA-DR-4345-LA Tropical Storm Harvey, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said memorandum of understanding and any and all relevant documents. Moved by Councilman Otan, second by Councilman Perilou. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 9-0. Number 32, resolution approving a memorandum of understanding between Lafourche Parish Government and the Louisiana Department of State, Office of the Secretary of State, Lafourche Parish Register of Voters, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said memorandum of understanding and any and all relevant documents. Moved by Councilman Perilou, second by Councilman Otan. Any discussion? Being none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Passes 9-0. Number 33, resolution approving a cooperative endeavor agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and the Lafourche Parish Drainage District Number 1 for one 2018 Ram 3500 crew cab and chassis 4x4 with service body to be used by Lafourche Parish Government for work within the Lafourche Parish Drainage District Number 1 area, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Moved by Councilman Otan, second by Councilman Jones. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Passes 9-0. Number 34, resolution approving number 2 to the agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and Duplantis Design Group, PC, for engineering design services for the Lockport Community Center, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said amendment and any and all relevant documents. Moved by Councilman Otas, second by Councilman Perilou. Councilman Lafont?
Yeah, we ever got a second appraisal done on that?
So last I was told by the, I don't know if it's engineers or design or whatever they are, but anyway, Jack told me that they were waiting on that appraisal, and then as soon as it's appraised, it has to be, the appraisal has to be reviewed. So last I talked to them, which was a couple of weeks ago, that was, they were just waiting on the appraisal that we had approved already, just to get that done.
We keep spending money on this and we don't even own the land yet. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. And I want you to have it, but we don't even know if that land is gonna be feasible enough, or if the landowner's gonna take the offer that they come back and say, because most of it's wetland.
I agree, it's been a disaster, but it's also $5 million of the state's money that will disappear from this parish if we don't take any action, so.
Okay.
I'm still hopeful.
All right.
Councilman Lorraine?
Yeah, I hate to say this, but I gotta agree with Lafont. We are going to keep spending money and don't know if you're gonna get the property. This is the second shot. Also, allegedly, I was told, and boy, if that's true, I can't believe this was done. Allegedly, I found out that $600,000 or $700,000 was taken out of the power pump. That pump station was for 3 stations. They put 2 and they didn't put the third one in. They took that money, they transferred it to that. If that's true, everybody up here hollers drainage, drainage, drainage. Now, I'm not telling you it's true, but allegedly,
Who's they?
that's what I heard, that they took the money.
No, but I don't know who's they. Who is it
I'm
that?
just telling you, money was taken out of there and transferred to this community instead of putting 3 pumps in the power station. Okay?
Okay.
Go find out and see how many pumps they got in the power station. They built it for 3 pumps. They put the 3 foundations, but there's only 2 pumps. And everything's in shambles right now with that. Terrible.
Okay, that is a separate issue, but do you?
No, it's
did
not
you-
a separate issue.
Did you ask the
They
administration to
took
look
money
into
from
that?
there and they transferred it over there.
Did you ask the
allegedly.
administration to look into that
Well, they want to
allegation?
look into it. They must know about it.
Okay, any further discussion? Being none, all in favor? Any opposed? Passes 7-2. Passes 7-2 with Bourgeois and Lorraine being the nays. Number 35, resolution approving the master support agreement. Number 35, resolution approving the master support agreement for the PetSmart Charity Shelter Operations Grant Award in the amount of $45,000 for the animal shelter medical building at the Lafourche Parish Animal Shelter, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Moved by Councilman Gross, second by Councilman Paraloo. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Passes 9-0. Number 36, resolution approving a cooperative endeavor agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and the South Louisiana Economic Council, SLEC, for the fiscal year 2018 service fees in the amount of $25,000, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Can someone move for me? Moved by Councilman Lafont, second by Councilman Grow. Any discussion?
Yeah,
Councilman Lafont, Lorraine?
who did the negotiations on this? With the administration?
Mr.
Cantrell.
Mr. Cantrell?
Who did the negotiations on this?
I don't know, really.
You don't know?
Nope. That's right.
So who's got the only one that's got to sign this contract is the parish president.
That's correct.
It came from administration.
I think
It's not something I
it might have
brought
been-
before the council. Excuse me, Mr. Cantrell?
I'm sorry.
It came from the administration. It's not something I brought before the council
Well, if
on
it
my
came
own.
from the administration, the parish president didn't even know.
That would be,
Well, somebody in that
Interesting.
administration is doing something maybe they shouldn't be doing.
Mr. Cantrell, do you want to check into that for for Councilman Lorraine?
I will. Thank you.
Okay. Any discussion? Any further discussion? Being none, all in, Councilman Grow?
What did they get last year? Was it 25,000 last year?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
I got a question.
Councilman Jones?
It came from the administration and nobody in the administration know who actually responded to that?
Councilman,
Mr.
Parish
Haas
President?
is on vacation, and I assume that he's the one that negotiated. I don't know. I mean, he just left this afternoon. I didn't have a chance to talk to him too
I
much.
thought everything goes through the parish president.
It's supposed to.
Okay, so Mr. Cantrell, you're going to get that information to all of us, including Mr. Lorraine, Councilman Lorraine? Okay.
So
Councilman Lorraine?
Mr. Haas approved this?
I don't think he knows. Mr. Cantrell said he doesn't know.
Doesn't know? I guess he could sign it.
Okay. All in favor? Any opposed? Passes 9-0. Number 37, resolution accepting the low bid of Tidewater Dock Incorporated in the amount of $287,500 for the demolition of the Chevron Bridge, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer an agreement and any and all relevant documents. Moved by Councilman Lorraine, second by Councilman Bourgeois. Any discussion? Councilman Lorraine?
Yes, there were 3 bidders. Tidewater Dock, Blazon's Dragline, Coastal Marine. Tidewater Dock got the bid. I think this was done by Picciola. Joe? So what's the deal? Can you come up? on all the debris and all this stuff, he has to haul all that away, or what's really all the deal on there?
Joe Picciolo with Picciolo and Associates, 115 Picciolo Parkway in Cutoff. Yes, the entire project becomes the property of the contractor, and he has the responsibility to dispose of all of it or decide to keep it himself. But if he disposes of it, he has to dispose of it in a manner that's in accordance with state and all local laws. That's how it reads in the contract.
Right, because I know you have a lot of creosote pilings and things like that, and you should have a lot of debris, smashed debris or whatever.
You're going to have a lot of debris, and you have creosote pilings, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Councilman Melvin.
I'm just curious, maybe if somebody can refresh my memory. When we originally passed the demolition of this bridge, did we allocate like $400,000? 450?
450.
Where's the balance, or what's going to happen to the balance of that?
Goes back into the budget, right?
Hang on a second.
I'm just curious.
Parish President Cantrell, do you want to answer that?
If you don't mind.
Mr. Himmel?
Just like the project we just did earlier, I think it was the freshwater seawall, where we de-obligated it. Councilman mentioned how they did it under budget, saving us the money. Wherever those monies came from, I believe don't quote me, it's from BP, so it'll go back to BP.
So the balance ends up being de-obligated and returned to BP?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Councilman Otam?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct, and that's why, we should always vote in favor of resolutions where we're saving money, like the resolution a while ago we passed that unfortunately 2 people voted against. For those who read the resolution, that was saving us money, saving the taxpayers money. That's what that amendment was.
Thank you for that clarification.
Yes.
Do you have anything, Councilman Lorraine?
That was BP money? I think 99% of the damage was done at Fouchon for BP.
Did you have anything else?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, it's time to vote. All in favor? Any opposed? Passes 9-0. H, Parish President, Department Heads, Directors, or Managers report, presentation, and/or updates. Anything?
We don't have anything.
Nothing? I'm noticing there's no engineering reports. Are there any engineers that would like to? No? Okay. I, questions for the administration. Councilman Groh?
I have one, and kind of reminded me about when we were voting on the select deal. When the budget books came out this year, I noticed in the beginning there was a significant difference between the organizational charts from 2017 to 2018. So if y'all could just email us, and maybe that's some of the confusion. If you didn't know who would introduce for the administration the select resolution, I could see how it can be confusing because the tree used to be like this and now it's like this. There's so many people, so some are civil service employees that we can't communicate with, but seem to be acting as department heads. So if you can give us an explanation of how that tree or chart is set up, via email or at the next meeting, that'd be great.
Mr. Groh will do that.
And I do agree with Mr. Groh, and I think the other council members will as well. The civil servants that are acting as administration, as normally appointed members of the administration, we can't communicate. So we can't communicate with. So even if they're sitting in the jury box, we really shouldn't be calling on them to answer questions. Just so that it's becoming a problem. It's a significant amount. Anyone else? Any other questions? Okay, J, council reports, presentations, updates, and/or more questions. Any? Being none. K, legal advisory report. There is none. Already did. Is there any more public wishing to address the council? Nope. Discussion. M, any discussion on anything further?
Yeah, I just want to let the public know, I had people contact me about busted water lines, and so I talked to the head of the Lafourche Parish Water District, and he was telling me that if you did have a busted water line And if you notice that your water is extremely higher than normal, if you haven't made a claim in 12 months or 1 year, you can bring your water bill, and if you can prove that your water line busted, or not just running water, if you ran your water, you have to pay the bill. But if you can prove that your water line busted, they will help you out with that in some kind of way.
Okay. I don't know, that's some good information. I don't know if the parish may want to, if people had access to some of this information. I also, a couple of council members, I had to ask with a resident that had a gas leak. So I don't know if we can maybe utilize the website a little bit and just put little facts here and there that come up at this meeting. That would be great.
And also, and I didn't do a lot of research, but when we have cold freeze hard times like this again, I don't know if the parish put something on the website, letting people know where they
We put it on the website.
Okay. I had a gentleman, and I want to just thank the people in the community that helped out. I got a call from a home health nurse, an elderly veteran. She went to his house to check on him. He didn't have a heater, and it was a day that it was below freezing. But thanks to the people in the community that they gave up heaters. His water lines were busted. I actually had a cousin, saw it on Facebook, him and another guy went fix the person's water line. I think that happens throughout this community. And I just want to thank all those people out there that helped out anybody that was in a bind during that cold weather.
And Councilman LaFont, for the Outstanding Citizen Award, consider those people that you see that always help out. Let's keep those individuals in mind. Anyone else had anything? The only Councilman LaFont? The only other thing I would say is I got constant called about garbage collection during the holiday. Is there any way the parish can send out press releases or put on Facebook about the garbage collection schedule during holidays?
During the holidays, when there's a holiday falls, when you're due to get your garbage collected, they just don't pick it up. They just wait till the next
Can that be
cycle.
put on Facebook? So,
Well, we don't know,
because-
you know.
well, I'm saying at each
What
holiday,
area-
if they,
yeah, I
it could be
understand,
addressed.
But some areas, they don't pick it up all in the same area. There's some areas that picked up on Mondays, well, the next one may be picked up on Tuesday. But if you have a holiday, like on Monday, New Year's Day or Christmas, well, it wasn't picked up, because I know I have a dumpster for my apartments, and it was just overloaded because they didn't pick it up.
Okay, so what do residents do? Do they drag it to the road or not? If there's any way that we can even explain that on Facebook, or give them the number to contact the garbage collection
We'd have to
people.
get in touch with Mr. Jerome Danos, and let's see if we can get some type of schedule from them, but I don't think they'll give it to you, because they don't know what days, you know, what areas they're gonna be picking up, and what days it is, and that your area they pick up.
President Cantrell, I worked for the city of Thibodeau, and I was in charge of communications, and we always
Well,
had a schedule. We
said-
always had something to release to the
We'll get
public.
with Mr. Jerome Danos. and we'll
Okay.
try.
Councilman Grow?
Yeah, I happened to get a bunch of calls as well, and they missed like 12-seater subdivision they didn't pick up. So I got a lot of calls, and ironically, I got a compliment about how good they did in the Park Drive area. So, I mean, things do happen, and Jerome was very quick about fixing it or getting me in touch with the right people. But if just a simple phone number, so we can deflect some of those calls, that they can call the actual garbage collector and give them the address, and they may be able to let them know. So, okay, thank you.
The
Company
other
me.
thing I wanted to mention was parish closures. When the offices are closed, if we could also add that to the parish website and Facebook. Councilman Perilou?
Yes, ma'am. I did receive several calls before and leading up to and throughout the holidays. I want to clarify something. The green cans that are issued to all the residents, according to the contract, the way I understand it is they're only liable to pick up those green cans, right?
That'd be a Jerome question. I would guess, because they have a certain, on the vehicle has a certain way.
That's the way it was explained to me, because the arm only is designed to pick up those green cans.
Exactly.
So I get calls saying, look, during the holidays, I put out the green can, then I had an old brown can that I've been having for 20 years, and they left it. And I explained to the constituents, that's probably why they're leaving it, because contractually, they're only obligated to pick up their can.
And another thing is the way it works, to save on labor. That's why they do it. They pick up their own cans because the equipment is designed only to pick up that can.
Understood. So I would really like to dig deeper into that contract and to be sure that we're telling our constituents the proper information, because that's what I was told a while back, and then maybe some different, you know, oh no, they have to pick up around the holidays, boxes, empty boxes. I'd like to know, you know, exactly what the contract states as far as what they're obligated to pick up.
And if
we
those
can
facts
research
can be-
that, please.
I will.
If those facts, when that's found out, can be added to Facebook or the website, so we can also tell residents where to look it up. Councilman Bourgeois.
I just want to add that if you consistently have more than your can, you can purchase an additional can for a one-time fee, and they'll continue to pick it up if somebody habitually has more than a can's garbage.
And if that's in fact true, if that could also be put on the site. Obviously, I'm a big proponent of communication.
Because we charge, remember, we are charged per can. That's how they figure out our garbage collection, per can. So if you have 2 cans, you pay for your, you know, so they're gonna charge us, we're gonna be back billed from the parish for 2 cans for the individual who buys the can.
Oh, okay. Councilman LaFont?
I think it's actually a per household fee, 19 whatever per month, per
I
household.
thought it was per household. We're about to find out a lot about the garbage thing. Okay, the only thing else I wanted to add was Thibodeau Main Street has a new director, Danielle Stein, and she's going to be awesome. I know she's not here today. They had their board meeting, but I think we can expect some great things from Thibodeau Main Street in the near future. Any further discussion? Being none, can I get a motion to adjourn? Moved by Paraloo, second by Bourgeois. All in favor? Moved by 9-0, 6:38.